7:36. Welcome back to Wilmington's Morning News. Jury selection continues in New York City for former President Donald Trump. To get some more details on that this morning, I'd like to welcome back to our airwaves a commentator over at Young Voices, Victoria Churchill. Victoria, it's been an interesting couple of days up in New York City. What's going on up there?
Yes, it has. Well, so what we've seen up to this point is that the jury has now 7 jurors selected. 5 more need to be selected. And then, as well as 6 alternates, there have been over 80 individuals that have been deemed kind of not worthy of serving on the jury, whether it's because they opted themselves out or because they were kind of questioned by either Donald Trump's team or the Manhattan DA's team. And groups within both of those parties also decided that those people shouldn't be serving on the trial. What I thought was interesting was that actually a member of Manhattan DA's Alvin Bragg's team, Joshua Steinglass, and this is a quote from CBS News, so, probably one of the more middle-of-the-road news sources when people kind of look for places to get their information. This quote from Steinglass says that he actually doesn't expect people to, as he puts it, to have been living under a rock for the last 8 years or the last 30 years, but what he is looking for is that people are going to be able to have an open mind. And so I thought that was very interesting because I think this is kind of one of the key criticisms when it even comes to such a high-profile case as this, is that you're most likely not going to have people that have absolutely zero opinion on either the case or the former president, who, also happens to be the presumptive Republican nominee as well, right? Like, that's another element of this trial that really raises his profile. And so I think that's interesting, is that even the prosecution is saying, we don't expect people to come in here with a completely blank slate.
Well, and that's always been the big issue, Victoria, with this whole thing is, and the question that's continued to swirl is, can Trump even get a fair trial with all of them? I mean, there's not a single person that doesn't know who he is or probably doesn't have an opinion on who he is. And that's always been the question, and especially when you go to a place like New York City or somewhere like Washington, D.C.
And that is a very valid question. Again, I think that is why such a large percentage of these individuals have been released from even serving in the jury pool. And, I'm just coming up on time here, but the last thing I kind of want to leave your audience with is that, they are trying to do everything to have the most due diligence in this trial. And I think that really this percentage of individuals that we are seeing thrown out, it'll probably remain as high, if not even higher, as the jury selection continues. There is no jury selection today, Wednesday, and it'll continue Thursday. And, they're kind of going to keep going until they have all those jury slots, as well as the other slots for the alternates who may need to step in throughout the trial as well.
Victoria Churchill joins us this morning. Victoria, thanks for the time. I greatly appreciate it. We'll catch up again soon.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Victoria Churchill over at Young Voices joining us here this morning as we are learning more details about jury selection as that continues in New York City for the first time ever.